Just remember, you asked for this. Hello, welcome, I'm Caketins, and thank you for joining me. Today is part 1 of my 5,000 volume manga collection tour. It isn't the 5,000 volumes that scares me. I mean, it does scare me. What scares me is the fact that I have over 1,000 different series in my collection. If I had 5,000 volumes but like 100 series, that's like not that bad. Well, 500 volumes. 500 series then maybe. That's less bad. I need to talk about 1,000 different things. So yeah, this video is going to be long. Actually, it's so long I am doing multiple parts. Like, there's going to be a lot of parts. But to make up for it, my plan is to try and post the parts consecutively from today until I'm done. At this point, I still haven't finished filming the shelves. That's how much I've got to film. I'm over halfway though. I think I've already filmed about 7 hours worth of content. But everyone seems to want really long videos and for like me to talk a lot about the manga, so that's what I'm doing. I am talking a bit about every single series. If I've read it, what do I think? Where I got the volumes from, the quality of the volumes, if I've not read it, where did I get it, did my partner read it, stuff like that, pretty much anything and everything. It is a proper right ramble at times. So be sure to subscribe for when I post the other parts of the video. If I've already posted a whole bunch of parts, there will be links to all the various parts down below. Roughly, it's working out at about, it's going to be about a shelf apart because it's roughly taken me an hour to do every single shelf. Actually, probably about 45 to 50 minutes, closer to an hour if I also include a half width. So in this room I have 10 full width billies and 4 half width billies. Each of those have 2 extensions on top, and each of the main bookcases has an extra 2 shelves squeezed in. So each full bookcase has 10 shelves of manga on it. On average, I pretty much fit about 40 to 45 volumes a shelf. Times that by 10, it's about 450 per bookcase. I organise my manga alphabetically, so that's the way you'll see it when we go through the collection. So it's going to kind of work out, it will work alphabetically. What am I talking about? There are a few bits where it's not quite fully alphabetical, but I'll usually explain why when I get to it. But for the most case, it's alphabetical. It's just easier. If I did it any other way, I'd pretty much just change the way I organise my collection weekly, and I'd have no time ever to do anything. Today also marks my 2-year anniversary on YouTube, which is super insane and exciting. I can't believe, for the most part, that I actually managed to keep going for 2 years. This year has probably been my most consistent year. I think I took a break in February and I missed a couple of weeks in June, but otherwise I've mostly stayed consistent, and I can't believe I've managed to do that. It's actually insane. But I've honestly had so much fun doing it. I've had such a lease of life and enthusiasm for manga, and it's just been so wonderful the past couple of years. Thank you to absolutely anyone and everyone who shows support on my videos. You are just all so wonderful. Everyone's so kind. And an extra special shout out to the Manga Dudettes, Emma and Tiffany. You're both so wonderful. When are you coming back north? Do be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of the video. It's going to be really long. There's going to be lots of it. There's hours and hours of content coming in the next week or so. I do hope you like it. If not, sorry. I will try to do some shorter collection tours in the future. It does get a bit tricky though at this size of collection. Like, how do you do shorter? What do you want me to say? That means I could say it shorter. Say it shorter? Say it quicker? But let us dive into the collection tour. That's not helpful. No, don't follow her. Stop looking elegant. No. Well, I can't reach the manga if you're there now, can I? What happens when I go up the steps? Where do you go then? Right. Okay. Up we go. What are you doing? Okay, so far I haven't filmed the intro or the outro, but I'm hoping that when I do, I've explained everything, like the shelves and how we're going to be doing this. So let's just get completely stuck in. Let's do this. Okay, so first up we have Dot Hack GU Plus 1 and 2, Dot Hack Legend Twilight 1 to 3, and Dot Hack XXX 1. I'm going to do them all together because, like, kind of all the same. So this is complete at 3 volumes. I've read the first one. It was very fine. I feel like I can appreciate it because it's definitely a of its time. It was like one of the very first kind of video game isekais. There's video games tied into it, which I am interested in trying one day, but I can't remember what console they're on. As you can tell, these are all Tokyo Pop, so they're all out of print, very hard to find. So these were all secondhand. These three are probably pretty battered. This series I think is like 5 volumes, and this one I can't remember, but finding the rest of these is pretty hard, hence why I don't have them. But these were all bought for like £3 or £4 each ish. I haven't started reading these two because with how short they are, I was going to wait till I got them, but I don't know if I will. Next we got 5 Seconds Before a Witch Falls in Love. This is a one-shot GL. It's kind of got like a couple of stories in it, and there's like a chapter for the 2 different stories. I quite liked it, but I feel like it was just not long enough for everything, for all the story. I didn't rank it particularly highly just because I do often find one-shots are very hit or miss for me. I either seem to love them or I find them just rushed generally, and this was definitely one I found a bit rushed. Next we got 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, volumes 1 and 2. I know volume 3 is out and 4 might be out, I'm not sure, but it is quite a pricey series when I try and find it online, hence why I don't have it yet. I love this series. I think it's really wholesome considering the topic. It is it Ghost Ship? Yeah, it's Ghost Ship, and it's plastic wrapped. But it is actually kind of wholesome. It's all about this girl who likes to cosplay, and this is the character she likes to cosplay as, so that's like her by day and her in cosplay. And she joins this like anime club at school, and this guy is obsessed with this character, and he's like, I will never love a 2D woman. I mean, no, other way around. I will never love a 3D woman because I've got my 2D waifu. And then he sees her dressing up as the character, and he gets conflicted because he's like, it's the one I swore I'd love, but she's 3D, so hence 2.5. Do really like this. It is definitely more mature. It's like a more mature version of My Dress Up Darling, I think. I also think it's more wholesome. Next we have 07 Ghost 1, and then I think 5 to 60, so not complete. I have an inkling it's 17 volumes complete. I've picked up like 3 or 4 of these secondhand, and then quite recently I got like all of these from Travelling Man for like £4.50 on their Black Friday sale. I haven't started reading it because I have to stop so quickly. Like, I'll just wait till I've got the rest. This is a Josei series, which I didn't know until I was putting it in my spreadsheet, and I find that really interesting. Okay, next we've got 7th Garden 1 to 8. I got all of these secondhand apart from I think 1 which I got in Travelling Man off Forbidden Planet. It is on hiatus, I think. I haven't started reading it yet just because I've not gotten to it. I hear a lot of people really love it. I was drawn by the rainbow spines, and also I was really surprised how good quality a lot of these were considering they're secondhand. Next we've got 7th Time Loop. 7th Time Loop, the villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy, Volume 1. Volume 2 is out really recently. I haven't even managed to go to a store since it came out. Really enjoyed this. This is it's not an isekai. This main character sort of for some reason every time she dies goes back to the same point in time when her fiance was like dumping her, and every time she decides to try and live a different life, doing a different like role, being a merchant, being a sellsword, that sort of thing. And this loop, she's decided she wants to live a carefree life and ends up with the villain. And yeah, that's it so far. Not much more has happened in volume 1. Do enjoy it. It is very lighthearted, would recommend. Okay, last up on this shelf we have a bottle in the way. We have 20th Century Boys Omnis 1 to 11 and 21st Century Boys. So that is a complete series. Another one I haven't started yet. It took so long to find volume 2. And then I just didn't get into it. As in, I've not started picking it up yet to read. There are a few like long series that I really hope to get into next year, including 20th Century Boys, and a few Shonen Jump series, which we'll get to eventually. My partner's been on quite a big Urasawa binge recently, so he'll actually probably get to them before I do. He's currently reading Asadora, but then maybe this might be one he'll jump to after that. Don't know yet. Okay, we can go down one shelf. Woo! Oh my god. First on this shelf we have The 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You, volumes 1 and 2. Volume 3 I am getting for Christmas, and volume 4 might already be out yet. Again, this is quite, I think of this in the same vein as 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, pretty much because I've been picking them up at the same time. And again, it's quite pricey nowadays, so I'm not picking it up immediately when I see it. I need to see it on sale. Basically, this guy has been like completely terrible in love for some reason. Now he's gonna have 100 women fawn over him, and he needs to make them all his girlfriends, and if he rejects any of them, they'll die for story reasons. And I do think they actually say in the series it's because of story reasons. So he kind of just starts building this aggressive harem. He's on like 5 or 6 by the end of volume 2, and they all seem pretty chill about it, which is, I suppose, a thing. It's so non-serious. I know a lot of people aren't keen on harem stories, but it is lighthearted and silly if you can look past it. Okay, next we've got I Love You 1, 2, 3, 6. These were all bought secondhand. Another one I've not started reading because like I'm missing so many volumes. I don't want to get into it. It is the same manga artist as Love Hina, I think. I don't actually know much about it other than I kept seeing it advertised in the back of Love Hina, and I was like, I'll give it a go when I see odd volumes, but now I'm missing like loads still. Okay, next we've got volumes 1 to 3 of Abandoned Empress, and that is up to date. Oh yeah, it is a fully coloured series. I think it's really pretty. I absolutely adore the covers, especially the like silver gloss bits on the cover. I understand there's some contention potentially around the ending, but I absolutely hate spoilers, so I have no idea what they are. I'm enjoying it so far. I do find the main character a little wet, but I'm enjoying it so far. Next we got Absolute Duo, and I believe this is complete. Can't easily check. I've read volume 1 and I found it very meh. I thought it was fine. It was distinctly, I think I gave it like a 5 out of 10 or something. It's basically, you kind of pair up, you need to pair up this like fighty magic school, and this dude pairs with this girl. There was some big reason that he's special. I don't remember what though. But it is a very meh series. I did manage to get most of these secondhand, I think, but I would absolutely not pay retail for that. Next we have Axel World Volume 1. I have not read this, but I hear it's an isekai, so I grabbed it secondhand. I believe the light novel is by the same person who wrote Sword Art Online, I think. Next we have Accomplishments of a Duke's Daughter, Volumes 1 to 5 and 7. I have read up to Volume 3. I only got Volume 4 vaguely recently. I actually really enjoyed this series. It is a villainess otome isekai, however, so far by volume 3 there isn't really a huge focus on romance. It's more about our main character introducing things from her modern life in Japan to this fantasy world, like governance and banking and stuff like that, education, and so I've been finding it really interesting. It seems to be getting more popular recently. I see it around way more than I did maybe a year ago when I first started picking it up, but I do enjoy this one. Next we have Act Age Volume 1. So this series got cancelled when the writer did some absolutely terrible things. The writer, not the artist. The artist didn't do anything wrong, just sort of unfortunately tied in with the guy. So 2 volumes got released in English, but I don't think volume 2 really made its way over to the UK. I had it on pre-order, but it got cancelled and I never saw it in store. It was a shame. This was a really good series. I love volume 1. So I'm going to keep an eye out for any other English prints by the artist to see if they ever come over. Next we have After Hours 1 to 3, and this is complete. You can see I haven't finished reading it because I take the stickers off. This is a GL, it's very shiny, it's catching all my fairy lights. This is a GL series. It is a music themed GL. I hear mixed things. I've heard some people say they really love it and some people say they really didn't. I haven't started reading it yet, I can't say. Another one I need to try and get on reading. I really went on a blitz a couple of months ago and read a whole bunch of my shorter series, and I got through quite a few, but this wasn't one of the ones I got through for no particular reason at all. I do like how thick volume 3 is. Next we have After School Bitchcraft volumes 1 to 3, and this is a series complete. I have read this. I found it really boring, I have got to be honest. I can barely even remember what it was about. Oh yeah, that's it. She's struggling in school, so she goes to a teacher to try and get extra lessons, and it turns out he's a sorcerer and she has the capability to be a sorceress, and it kind of continues from there. But I did find it a bit boring. It was a real slog to get through the volumes. Would not recommend. Was very tickled though that when I bought this volume in Forbidden Planet, they'd put a post-it note over this part. Next we have volumes 1 and 4 of Air Gear. These were bought before I realised how hard it was to pick up volumes for this series. I got them second hand for like £2, maybe £3 each, but I haven't really tried to pick up any more. There is omnibuses, but I don't really like omnibuses all that much. They're also really thick. They just look too unwieldy and like they just tear. So I've been putting off getting any more. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll hope to see if they do singles again, or if I manage to find a set. I don't know. It's quite hard to find some of the singles though, so I'm not holding out hope. I don't know what I'll do with these at the moment. Next we have Arjun 1 through 17. So that is complete and kind of wedged in. I've read the first couple of volumes, then was trying to wait to pick up the rest because I think I was waiting on reprints. It took me about a year, I think, to find all of these. I got 1 to 7 off eBay for about £6 each, and then the rest of these I was like picking up either in Forbidden Planet or online or just missed all over the place. Was enjoying it. It was a nice dark like mystery so far. I don't know when I'll get back into finishing this. I know a lot of people are really excited for the last volume, so I'm hoping it'll be good. Okay, next we have Akashic Records of Bastard Magic Instructor 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. So some of these I got discounted at $6.99, and then some of these I've gotten second hand, and some of these I got for like $4.99. Can I see which ones I got for $4.99? Nope, that's load bearing. So yeah, some of them were $4.99 from HMV. I actually watched some of the anime while I was at uni, and I did quite enjoy it. So when I realised there was a manga, I started to pick them up. As you can see, I'm still missing volume 1, so I haven't started reading it yet. Though I think I almost have, I have quite a lot of it. I think there's like 16 or 17 volumes. So I need a volume 10 and a volume 1, and then I'll have a lot of the series. Next on this shelf we have Akuma Riddle volumes 2, 3, and then if we sweep down we've also got volumes 4 and 5. So you can see here that 4 and 5 I got for $1.99, and I was like, why not, let's grab them. Apparently it's only a 5-volume series, but yeah, I am still missing volume 1, so I've not started reading it yet. I think it's a GL, but I think that's about the limit of my knowledge. Next we have The Alchemist Who Survived Now Dreams of Quiet City Life volumes 1 and 2. This unfortunately was cancelled after 2 volumes of manga, I think. The light novel did complete. It has way more. I don't know why the manga was cancelled. I didn't look into the reason. It was a very fine time skip fantasy. The alchemist goes to sleep because of a war and wakes up and it's all calmed down, but it's like 100 years later or something, and she's like, all her skills are overpowered, which seems to be quite a common trope in fantasy, not even isekai, just regular fantasy. So that's a shame. Next we have Alice 19th volume 1 to 7, and this is complete, I think. Most of these I got second hand pretty easily, apart from volume 5, which I actually happened upon in a comic book store in Hull, weirdly enough. So the rest of them were pretty cheap, but this one was like easily selling for like £60+ on Amazon, and then I got it for like £4.50 in Hull. Maybe that's just Hull. I've read the first couple of volumes, and I was actually surprisingly enjoying it. I generally find magical girl stuff quite, I don't know what the word is. They make me feel a bit like cringy, personally, but I did actually quite enjoy this one, which surprised me. So I have high hopes, I just need to finish this series. Next we have Alice and Zoroko volumes 3 to 8. Again, I got a bunch of these for $1.99 in Forbidden Planet, and then I got this one for $4.99, I think, in HMV. Again, I don't have 1 and 2, so I've not started reading it yet, but I did blindly pick this up because of the price. As we got Alice in Bishoen Land volumes 1 and 2, and this is a complete series. Our main character is isekai'd into a mobile game where she has to like create a boy band and be the best of the best to be able to get out, I think. Except she doesn't really know what she's doing, and she picks a real strange mismatch of characters. it was really, I wasn't sure if I enjoyed it or not. It was very silly and self-aware. Like, it kept talking about like gacha and how she needed to put real money in, and suddenly they put like a gacha machine and she had to roll it to get outfits and stuff. So I did like that side of it, but also it was so over the top and silly. I did actually struggle to take it, and I love over the top and stupid and dumb, but like this was almost too far for me. And also because it's only 2 volumes, it was definitely quite rushed-ish, and the ending was very strange. But I don't think the ending couldn't have not been strange from the way it was leading. It's got Alice in Kyoto Forest 1 and 2. Again, I think this is complete at 2 volumes. I haven't read volume 2, I have read volume 1, and I found it a bit dull. Again, I didn't really like the main character all that much, and yeah, I really struggled after that. But I picked up the 2nd volume for discounted from Forbidden Planet London because it's slightly damaged. So I'm looking forward to actually completing it. Hoping it might get a bit better and I might like the character a bit more. Next we've got Alice in Borderland 1, 2 and 3 omnibuses, which is I think up to date with English releases, give or take. So I am filming this like early December, by the way, when I talk about early releases. Also, the UK gets releases generally later than the US does, so if you're like, well actually it was still out by early December, was it out early December in the US or the UK? Because sometimes with Viz there can be like a good month plus difference. Sometimes it's only a week or so, but it's often quite a bit different. So yeah, 1 to 3 of Alice in Borderland. I am actually really enjoying Alice in Borderland. I am enjoying this sort of battle royale games. I'm enjoying the games. I like all the fun games, although they're not that fun actually, to be fair. I think with this we are now a third of the way through the series as well, because I think it was 18 volumes originally, so, and we're getting 2-in-1s, so there'll be 9 of these, so yeah, we're a third of the way through. Looking forward to seeing a full mural. That'll be really neat. Okay, next we've got a whole bunch of Alice in the Country of stuff. I gotta be honest, I picked up a lot of this secondhand, and if I'd realised at the beginning how hard it was to find some of these, I might have just avoided it. I don't know if I've made a mistake. So we've got the omnis of the main series, and then we've got some odd one-shots and Misc stuff. So Alice in the Country of Hearts Clockwork Story, Alice in the Country of Hearts The Mad Hatter's Late Night Tea Party, Alice in the Country of Clover Bloody Twins, and Alice in the Country of Joker Circus and Lies Games 2, 5 and 7. Yeah, I just did not realise how many there were and how hard they are to find. So, slight regret of that, but I'll just keep picking up as and when. I think I've been picking up these now for like 2 years now, and I've still only got 3 because I won't pay stupid prices for them. Next we've got the All You Need Is Kill Omni, which is unfortunately a bit wedged in there. That is my partner's manga. I haven't read it. He has. He enjoyed it, I think. I'd ask him, but he's not in the room. Okay, we're on another shelf. Oh my god, this can take ages. We have 1 to 7 of An Incurable Case of Love. So this is another complete series. I actually find this series is a really good example of like an acceptable age gap. Because no one, when you talk about age gap series, this isn't one that gets brought up, but the age gap there is definitely an age gap between the characters. I don't remember how big the age gap is, but there is definitely one. I found it a fairly light-hearted read. I wasn't too fussed about the dude, and again, I just found her a bit wet, so. But I did enjoy reading it, and it definitely was one of the first shorter romance series that I read, and I think it kind of spurred me to try a few more. Next I've got The Ancient Mage's Bride 1 to 6. I think I have read all that I've got, but I am not up to date. Obviously it's like on 14 or 16 or something. A few of these I've been getting second hand. I just haven't been picking up. I do enjoy it, and I have enjoyed what I've read. I've just, for some reason, not picked up more. No particular reason. But I am going to try and get on that, actually. I think that's something I'm going to try and focus on in the new year. Get more of this series, because it's really good. And then I've also got the supplement, which I got for $4.99 in HMV. This kind of got like stats and character bios and stuff. Next we got Animal Crossing Horizons Deserted Island Diary 1-3, which is up to date. Look how disgustingly thin these are, considering it's like the price of a regular Viz volume, which is $7.99. I haven't read volume 3 yet because I didn't get it all that long ago. I have quite enjoyed it in terms of like video game comedy kids stuff. It's probably one of the better ones. I've enjoyed it more than say the Kirby one, but that's probably because I've played Animal Crossing and I've played New Horizons, where I've not really played Kirby games. If you're an Animal Crossing fan, I would probably recommend it, but I'd also recommend trying to find it secondhand, or at least cheaper than $7.99 a volume. Definitely don't pay that, please. Next we've got Anonymous Noise. So we have all of Anonymous Noise apart from volume 10. It is complete at 18 volumes, so yeah, one volume and then I'll be complete. I was very much initially drawn in because of the Rainbow Spines. I've read the first volume so far, and I found it very over the top. Maybe it's just my age, and these high school romances, just sometimes I find them too over the top, and I struggled. I do hear loads of praise for the series though, so I do want to try and get more into it. I don't know when I'm going to get into this series yet. It's not high on the list yet. But I did get a whole chunk of it recently from Travelling Man, once again for 10% off, so again it was about £4.50, if not a bit cheaper with their 10% off, which is great. Okay, last series on this shelf is O'Hara Ride 1-13, so that's complete. I started picking this up when there was only 3 volumes out. It was ages and ages ago. One of the first high school romance series I read, and at the time I enjoyed it, and I was absolutely blown over by the art style, and I still am. Akashi's work is just always beautiful and gorgeous. In hindsight now, I'm not sure how keen I am on the story, considering pretty much the entire plot is based on miscommunication and people just not talking to each other, and that just drives me up the wall. And it was right to the end, just drove me insane. Though I do have a misprinted copy, I can't remember which one it is. Yeah, I think it's this one. Basically, how they printed it was, they printed it left to right inside. So you can see, if I open it from this way, I've got the first page, which I don't want to be completely on, and then the pages are printed backwards, so you have to read it left to right, but then, so when you get to a page like this, you still need to read up here, down, and then this page, but you have to then turn it that way, which is confusing. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me about 1 or 2 chapters, and I was like, I don't really understand what's happening, why are they on this trip? And then I was like, wait a minute, if I read it this page and this page, that makes sense. Yeah. Some people are like, you should just return it and get a new one. I'm like, well, it's hilarious. I like having a few random misprints in my collection. Finally, I can get off the really creaky stepladder. So next we have 1-9 of Apasims. So these are my partner's. I have not read these. He's read them, really enjoys it. It's one of the few series he's really actively up to date with. I have a feeling he's been reading other series by this artist. I can't remember what they are though. He does say he finds it strange, the art style, it's very faint. I don't know how to describe it. Sometimes it can be hard to see what's actually happening on the pages just because it's kind of faint and set in snow, I think he said. I don't know. It's got the Apothecary Diaries volumes 1-6. That's me up to date, though 7 is out really soon. Love the Apothecary Diaries. This is wonderful. Very much love it. It's mystery. If it wasn't so wedged, I'd pull a volume out. It's just really interesting. I've been really enjoying it, and I always look forward to it. I love all the mysteries. There was one sorting out the will of Dad and his sons, and that was just so interesting. I loved it. Next we have Appleseed Alpha, which is, I think, a one-shot again. It's another one of my partner's. I think he's read it. I think he enjoyed it. Sorry. Are You Alice 45678? Ooh, that's a clear run. So yes, I am missing quite a few volumes of this. I have not started reading it yet, but at $1.99, yeah. And then I got the volume 4 second hand. I am on the lookout for the other ones that I'm missing, and occasionally I see them, but they're just a bit more expensive than I want to pay, so I've not grabbed them yet. Next we have a wonderful selection of Arifureta. So we have Arifureta main series 1 to 4, Arifureta 0, 2, 3, and Arifureta I Heart Isekai 3 and 4. So I've read the first 3 of the main series, and I think it's okay. It's one of my partner's favourite isekai light novels though, so I'm really keen to try and keep reading it, even though so far I'm like, meh, not sure. And then these 4 I got discounted either for like, I think one of them I got for like $3.99 off Blackwell's, which is just insane. And then some of them usually like $4.99 secondhand or that sort of thing, or in HMV. I have a feeling the main series is just released 7 or 8 in the manga, so I am quite behind, and then I'm obviously missing 1 and 2 for this one. Arisa volumes 2, 6, 7, 10, and 12. I got these all for $1.99 in Forbidden Planet as well. Are you noticing a pattern? Again, I haven't started reading it because I'm missing volume 1 and then a whole lot of volumes. I think it's complete at 12 though I do think it's kind of a harder series to find. I don't know if they've done reprints, because I did see a volume or 2 pop up in Forbidden Planet again, so maybe that's what I'm hoping. I also swear that this is a similar... I swear that this person's done something else that I own, but I can't remember what. Next we've got Arpeggio of Blue Steel 17. Okay, so yes, this is another one I picked up for $2.99, and again, I do kind of regret it because they seem to be really hard to find. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that one either. If I can find earlier volumes, I will pick them up. I actually did want to pick the series up anyway, which is why I was like happy to grab volume 17, because it's been on my want to try list because I really liked the thought of the premise. But then yeah. As we have, as a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world, volume 1. So this was an isekai pre-order. I haven't actually had a chance to read it yet. It was in my basket before I put everything away to film this. But I am also getting volume 2 for Christmas, so I might just hold off and then read 1 and 2 together. I love dumb premise isekais so much, so very much looking forward to reading this one because it's completely up my street. Next we have Asadora, volumes 1 to 5. I really enjoy Asadora, though it's the first Urasara series that I have read. Volume 6 is out soon-ish, I think. I think at the beginning I really struggled. I wasn't really following the plot, / nothing really seemed to happen. And then it's kind of like sped up, but I still don't really know where it's going. I'm hoping there's going to be some more clarification in 6. Like, things were really starting to heat up in 4 and 5, but like I still don't know what it's working towards. That's why I want to know. And next we've got Ascendance of a Bookworm Part 1, volumes 1 to 7, and that is Part 1 complete. And then Part 2, volumes 1 to 3, and that is up to date, though 4 again might be out shortly. Absolutely love Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's usually one of my go-to isekai recommendations for people who generally don't like isekai. My experience when people say they don't like isekai is they don't like bland main characters and massive harems, and this is something that fits the bill of neither of those. It is such a good read. I know people are like, it's so expensive for how thin it is, but it's too wedged in. I don't know how J-Novel Club do it, but these volumes are dense. They are heavy. I feel like you don't get many less pages compared to a regular manga volume from like another publisher. I absolutely adore J-Novel Club volumes. They're just so heavy and dense. That sounds so strange. Okay, next we have Assassination Classroom volumes 1 to 2 and the rest of the series down here. So, series often do end up spilling on multiple shelves just to make room. I don't really mind too much. So yeah, Assassination Classroom. I read this while I was at uni. I really enjoyed it. The ending was fine. I really liked the beach bit. I think that's around here-ish. I love this bit. I also love the spines and so many of the characters. I also I watched the spin-off anime, like Kara Sensei Q, which I think is like a D&D SD manga anime. Absolutely loved that. If they ever did a manga of that, I'd be all up in it. Next we have Assassin's Creed Awakening 1. So this is one of my only manga by Titan books. and this is based on Black Flag, I think. I think there's only 2 volumes in this, and I don't have the second one yet. I think my partner's read it, and he was like, yeah, it's kind of similar to the plot of Black Flag. I was like, okay, cool. So maybe I'll just do all the Assassin's Creeds. We've also got Assassin's Creed Dynasty 1-3, 4 I believe is out, so I'm behind on that. Assassin's Creed Blade of Xiaoyong 1-4, and that is complete, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla Blood Brothers. So I can't remember exactly what Dynasty and Blade of Xiaoyong are based on, because I don't know if they're both based on the China Chronicles. I don't know, at least one of them is. I haven't gone in to look to see what they're actually based on. And then Assassin's Creed Valhalla Blood Brothers is a prequel to Valhalla, kind of explains how some of the Vikings ended up in England before the events of Valhalla. It was actually an alright read. My only issue is Tokyo Pop volume is really expensive, so even before the recent price uppages, this was like a $13.99 volume and most of it's action, so it took like 10 minutes to read, which is unfortunate. Very pretty art, and like there's a whole bunch of stuff in the back about how they approached the Assassin's Creed team and all the lore and stuff, which is interesting if you're an Assassin's Creed fan. I did really enjoy Valhalla, so I did enjoy it, just it was way too quick to read for the price. Okay, next we've got Atom the Beginning Volume 1 and 2. So I didn't actually get either volume all that long ago. I got Volume 1 to try it out, and then Volume 2 came out not too long after it. So I haven't had a chance to read it yet. It's meant to be really good and kind of semi-based on Astro Boy, I believe. It's definitely one I think my partner's going to be into, so I might try and encourage him to read it at some point. Next we've got Astro Lost in Space 1-5. This is complete and I absolutely adore it. I'm actually generally not as big on space or sci-fi. Don't know why. I just generally prefer like fantasy. I absolutely loved Astro Lost in Space. When people ask for a short series recommendation, this is generally my go-to. Like without a doubt, always recommend Astro Lost in Space. It's one of the few short series that I think actually managed to do like character development and plot development and do a satisfactory ending. I mean, even in general, longer running series, I think satisfactory endings aren't all that common, but this is definitely one that I really enjoyed and I like the ending, so absolutely 10 out of 10 would recommend this series. Okay, next we've got Attack on Titan 1-10 and the rest of it down here. Just need to crouch. We've got the entirety of Attack on Titan. So I think I got up to date with Attack on Titan like around volume 11 or 12 maybe. It was many years ago. So and then I've been up to date ever since. It took me like absolutely ages to get volume 34 though. It just didn't seem to pop up in the UK in stores for quite a long while. I can't believe how I managed to avoid spoilers. It just seems to be my secret power. I hate spoilers, so I'll just avoid them like the plague, and I managed to blank them out a lot of the time. But I did manage to avoid spoilers. I'm not sure how I felt about the ending. I think one of my biggest issues with the ending was because I'd been reading it as they came out, and there was actually quite a big gap between releases around here, I think. Is it around here? Actually, it might have been around there. It's somewhere around here. There was suddenly quite a big gap in releases, and I just started to forget what was happening, and there was a lot of stuff in 34 that called back to earlier stuff, and I just could not remember it. I remember finishing this volume and be like, okay, and then googled like meaning of Attack on Titan ending, and there was like a whole bunch of stuff that was like referenced like way earlier on. I was like, yeah, I didn't remember any of that at all in the slightest. Which is a shame. I think I'd have probably enjoyed the ending more if I'd remembered stuff, but that's probably more a me issue than over an ending issue, really. Attack on Titan Before the Fall, 1-7, 9, 11, 15, 17. So I read up to 7, and then I'd gotten these for second hand over the years. It is complete. I think, is it complete at 17? Yeah, it's complete at 17. And yeah, they're not hard to find. They're harder to find for a decent price. And again, I'm really cheap. So I haven't been picking it up too aggressively. I'd enjoyed what I've been reading. I really like the art style. I think I prefer the art style to the main series, which I know is a bit of a conscientious topic between some fans, and I do apologise for that. That's just my personal opinion. I found it really interesting because so far what I've read up to, it's more about like how they developed the attacking Titan beaty uppy swordy thingies, and how they developed the metal, the steel. That's been interesting, and so yeah, I'll just pick up the rest and read the rest eventually. Then we got Attack on Titan Junior High 1, 2, and 4. 4 was secondhand. I think it's actually a library copy. I've not taken this off yet. I've read Volume 1. It's a very like light-hearted attack. Titans and the court people as kids all go to school together, and they're trying to like discover secrets. I assume it's probably going to follow a similar premise to the main story, just more light-hearted, but I've not got into it yet. I think there's like 9 of them. There's quite a lot to go. I'm very behind on this. Then we have Attack on Titan No Regrets 1 and 2, which is complete, and it follows some backstory of Levi. Apparently, I think this is technically a shoujo because of the magazine it was printed in, I think, technically, which amuses me, if I'm wrong. Whoops. I found it very interesting. I kind of liked having the condensed story. I do want to try and pick up, I think there's 1 or 2 other Attack on Titan spin-offs. I'm not really fussed about the comic one, but I think Lost Girls, I think that's manga. I'd like to pick that one up at some point. Next we have a Akashi Triangle Volume 1. I have not read this yet. I haven't actually had it long. It was in my basket, so I will get to it. I've heard a lot of good things. I know a lot of people were surprised when 7 Seas licensed it. I don't know why. Maybe it was the magazine it was originally in, but I am looking forward to reading that one. Okay, so last A is Azamangu Daio, volumes 1 to 4, which I think is complete. I haven't read it yet. It's apparently meant to be like the quintessential slice of life, high school kids, girls, something or another. A lot of people speak very highly of it. My partner knew of it, and he was like, yeah, you should try it, and I've just not read it yet. Then we've got, so generally I do keep it alphabetical, though sometimes if I need to stack them like this to make them fit, they kind of move around so it's like not too top heavy. But next we've got Baccano volumes 1 to 3, which is complete for the manga. The manga only has 3 volumes. The light novel's on like 18 or something crazy, and the anime is really long as well, but the manga there is only 3 volumes, and I think it really suffered because of it, because they definitely tried to put too much information in 3 volumes. I was so confused, and just so much was happening at once. There were so many characters all over the place, and it just was not actually that great a read. I didn't really enjoy it, though I hear so many wonderful things about the anime and the light novel. I assume just it didn't work in manga format, which is a shame. I managed to pick them all up pretty cheap, so it wasn't too bad. Next we have Bad Boys Happy Home 1 to 3, which is also complete. It's one of the longest Sublime series that I've read. I actually was really enjoying it until the ending. There was some weird things that happened at the ending, and I was like, what is this? It just kind of felt so out of place and confusing. But I kind of liked how they weren't like, they just kind of 2 guys who liked each other and then became more than just living together. Though the whole setup was very strange as well. I mean, just finding some strange guy and you want to like punch him, and then he comes and lives with you, and then like you start growing feelings. It's very strange in hindsight, thinking about it. Next we have Bakemonogatari 1 to 14, which is vaguely up to date. I don't know if 15's out. I haven't seen it in store yet. I've read only volume 1 so far, and then I had a big gap. I was picking them up randomly because Blackwell's kept having them discounted for like $5.99 or even $4.99. So I, for a long time, did not have a clear run. Now I do have a clear run, so I should read them. I know the light novels are really, really good. My partner's interested in the light novels, and I'll read the manga, and then we can compare notes. We do that sometimes on series. Next we have Bakuman 1 to 14 and 15 to 20, so that is series complete. I actually really like Bakuman. I know it has problems with women and not treating the women in its series very well. I think when I was reading it, I was so interested and absorbed in the whole like process of producing a manga I completely missed that, but yes, in hindsight, it absolutely is that like all the women are just not treated well. I do stand by, I enjoy seeing how the manga's created. How genuine it is, I don't know, but it's probably my only real praise for the series. Okay, next we have Banana Fish, 1 to 4, 11, 12, 15, 17. I only started picking this up maybe a few weeks ago because it started to get reprinted and they started to be available over in the UK, which is wonderful. When I could see I could get 1 to 4 for cheaper than 3 for 2, I was like, okay, maybe this is a sign, let's give it a go, let's see what it's like. And yeah, then I picked up a few more. I am still way off. I don't remember how many volumes there are without checking, but I'm still not even halfway, but I've got a good few off the bat, which is nice. Next we have Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, 1 to 3. I've only read volume 1 and I found it again a bit dull. It has a very bland main guy character. Is he on the cover? Sometimes you don't actually see the main character on the covers. There he is. Very bland main character and then very buxom lady character. And yeah, he basically is wrongly outed and told to go away. And he's like, fine, I'm just gonna go chill. But she decides to come and chill with him. And that's about the extent so far. Again, I was like a bit meh about it, so I'm not rushed to read the rest of the volumes. Okay, next we have Beastars 1 to 21. So that is up to date, and I believe it is complete at 22 volumes, so there's only one more to come out before it's finished. So I literally only managed to finish filling gaps I had in about 3 weeks ago. I'd been missing 5 for like 2 years, and then I've been missing 8 for about a year. So I was like, I can't start reading it because I'm just missing volumes. So like, it's really hard to find volumes. I got put off reading any further, and now there's only one more, so I'll wait till 22 comes out to start reading it. I had read volume 1 and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I wonder where this is going. And my understanding is it just kind of, gets quite intense further on. And then we have Beast Complex Volume 1, which is by the same artist, if you can't tell. It's even in the same style. I don't think there is any other volumes out yet. I have no idea if this ties into Beastars, so I haven't read it yet. Next we have Beasts of Abigail 1 to 3. It is a 4-volume series, so I'm only missing one more until it's complete. It is the same artist as Kaiju Girl Caramelize, and I am obsessed with her artwork. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and genuinely the reason I picked these up. I didn't pick them up that long ago, so I haven't read them yet. But since it's only 4 volumes, I'll probably wait till I grab volume 4 and then read them all together. I got them all secondhand, I want to say for about £4.50 each. It wasn't that much. Okay, next we've got Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost Volume 4. I got that discounted off Blackwell's for, I think, $4.99. So that's the only one I have. It was another one that had been on my what to try list, plus I think Geeky Dreams had spoken highly of it, so I was like, yeah, I'll grab it, and then I'll pick up the rest when I can. We got Beauty and the Feast 1 to 3, and I think that's up to date-ish. I've read Volume 1. I really enjoyed... Oh, go away, not you. I really enjoyed seeing all the food. The food's really lovely to see in manga, but it did start to feel a bit weird about the relationship between the main character and the high school guy. She's like a widower, and the high school boy lives on his own next door, and she's like, come around and I'll cook for you. And then it starts to all get a bit quite friendly. But we'll see if that continues on later on in the series. Next we've got Behind the Scenes Volumes 1 to 7. That is complete. Most of these I got second hand for fairly good prices. This is the same artist as Uran High School Host Club, and it is about a club, I think a college or university, which specialise in doing like props for plays, film students, that kind of thing. I really enjoy learning and reading about that sort of thing. I feel like you learn about that and
they sort of teach you stuff. I've only read volume 1 and I did struggle with it. They were throwing so much information at you. I just struggled to follow along because they were trying to introduce you to all the characters in the club like really quickly, and I just like fell over myself and I've just sort of put off reading the rest of it. But this is another shortish series, so one that I would like to try and finish reading, so then I can be like, I've read my short series. Final volume. Okay, final volume on this shelf / onto the next shelf. We have Berserk. We have up to 32 down here. I'm gonna go back up the step ladder, and we've got up to 41 up there. So is 41 the latest? Yeah, I think so. Let's have a look now, move closer. Yeah, that's the latest one. First one since his death. I've read the first couple of volumes and now I'm really nervous to read it because of how long it is. I will get to it though. It's definitely one I want to try and tackle either over Christmas or in the new year. Next we have Berserk of Gluttony 1 to 3 and 5. This reminds me a bit of a more serious That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Really enjoyed what I've read so far. Just need to find volume 4. I think 7 is out, so I'm also a couple of volumes behind. Next we got Beyond the Clouds, volumes 1 to 3. Volume 1 is all I've read so far. It's really pretty. The art style is gorgeous. It very much reminds me of like Ghibli-esque, especially Castle in the Sky. The guy looks exactly like the character from Castle in the Sky. It is quite a pricey series nowadays, so I generally hold off till I can get it on sale. I got volume 3 on sale from Blackwell's, again for like $5.99, so I'm probably just going to keep holding off until that sort of price, though I don't think they release that often. I might be up to date with 3. There might be 4. Next we have Manga 1, 5 and 6. This is one of my partner series. He's read a whole bunch of other series by the same artist and really likes it, and is really sad that he's struggling to find 2 to 4. I don't know if it's getting reprints. Maybe. I'd seen a lot of people were asking for reprints, but I don't know if they confirmed reprints. I guess we'll find out in the next few months maybe. Okay, next we've got volumes 1 and 2 of Birds of Shangri-La. I think this is up to date. I haven't seen volume 3 anywhere. Not read it yet. No particular reason, I've just not gotten to it. Next we have volumes 1 to 5 of Bite Maker. Really like Bite Maker, and I always feel a bit weird, like, of course it's a problematic series, and I feel like, do I need to justify that even though I enjoy a problematic series, it doesn't mean I condone the problematic elements? I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot while I do my shelves, because I like a lot of problematic series, and I very much enjoy this one. Does it mean I want someone to treat me as shit as they treat the girl in this? Absolutely not. Why would I want that? Doesn't mean I can't enjoy a series with those elements though. Speaking of which, we've got Blackbird 1 to 18. Another one where I kind of enjoyed all the problematic elements. I really enjoy reading problematic stuff. Mostly because I'm hoping it's the only time I'll ever experience it and no one actually gets hurt to be able to experience it. I've read like 1 to 5 of this, and then I started picking them up secondhand, and I never got back into reading it. Maybe one for next year, I'm not sure yet, but I do quite like the covers. The covers are lovely. Next we've got Black Butler 1, 2, 3, 9, 26, 27. And again, I'm picking these up slowly secondhand as and when. There's like 30 volumes out now. And yeah, I've got 6. I'm not going to rush. It's going to take ages. They're yen press. Some of them need reprints. I'll get there eventually. Next we have Black Clover 1 to 30, and that is up to date. I'm enjoying Black Clover. Absolutely love reading about magic, especially magic battle shonen series. Quite enjoying the current arc a lot. Can't wait for another volume to come out though. Next we've got Black or White Volume 1. Again, I didn't pick this up that long ago, as in I think I did unboxing where I got it, but I only filmed that maybe 3-4 days ago, and I've just not gotten to read it yet. I hear a lot of good things, so looking forward to getting to it. Next we've got Black Torch 1 to 5. This is complete because I think the series was cancelled at 5 volumes. I've read 1 and 2 so far. It is a demon fighty series so far. A lot of people say they prefer it to like Demon Slayer, but I don't want to comment because I've not finished it yet. I did manage to get all of them for 3 for 2 price. Most of them I got in Travelling Man, I think. Yeah, these all have 3 for 2 stickers on them. Next we have Blackguard 1 to 4. I've read 1 and 2. I haven't really enjoyed it so far. I find it a bit, I don't know, confusing, tedious. I am easily confused though. It is only a 5-volume series, so I think there's a lot of lore, and volume 1 and 2 it's got a lot of lore set up in it, and I've just not really been into it so far. Maybe it'll get better. Don't know. Next we have Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist Journey 1 to 5, and that is complete. I really, really enjoy this series. I would absolutely recommend it. However, what I'd recommend is not reading it until you have all 5 volumes, because I read 1 to 4 fairly quickly and then could not find volume 5 for the longest time ever, and by the time I finally got it and read it, I'd forgotten a whole bunch of stuff, and I think it just lessened the impact of the conclusion of the story. And I think the conclusion was really good, but would it have been better if I'd managed to read them all together, just because I had forgotten things between volumes? So it follows the journey of this manga artist, Akiko Higashimura, who is more known for doing Princess Jellyfish and Tokyo Tarariba Girls, and like how she got into it, basically. It's like a biography. It's really, really interesting. I definitely would recommend, but again, my recommendation is wait till you've got all the volumes to read it. It is only 5 volumes, though they are big 7Cs, so they're probably more pricey nowadays. Like, I found it painful paying like $7.99 each for these, and probably more than that now, unfortunately. Okay, next we have Bleach. We have more Bleach, and even more Bleach, and all of Bleach, 1 to 74. So I have read, I think, about to 34, 35, and then I didn't have any more Bleach volumes. This was like 5-6 years ago. This is quite a while ago. Like, Bleach I don't think had finished at the point I stopped reading it. I didn't really stop reading for many reasons other than I was a student at the time, and I decided to prioritize other series because I was a student. And then a couple of years ago, my parents got me the 3rd box set, and my partner got me all the missing volumes in between for my birthday. So I've had a clean run since then, but I've just not brought myself to dive back in. I was in Space Mexico, whatever everyone seems to call Space Mexico. That's about where I was, and I kind of just stopped. I will get back into it because I would like to have read all of One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. I've read all of Naruto, I'm up to date on One Piece, and reading all of Bleach would be nice as well. I just need to get to it at some point, just not yet. Okay, bottom shelf down here, we've got a bit of a gap. We've got some very sad, lonely looking series. We have Bloodlad Volume 1, which I picked up second hand. It's a very hard to find series. Well, actually no, one of the volumes is very hard to find, so I'm really put off picking up any more for now, unless I can find that hard to find volume. Bloom Into You Volume 1. A lot of people on the Dudettes Discord server were saying Bloom Into You is really, really good and I should give it a go. The volumes aren't that easy to come across from what I've seen. I keep seeing the anthology, but I don't want the anthology, I want the main series. So I haven't tried to pick up more yet, just because I don't see them that often. And then we have Blue Box Volume 1, which is a new release from Viz again. I haven't had it that long, so I've not had a chance to read it. Apparently it's a badminton series. That's about the limit of my knowledge. But I look forward to reading it when I do. Again, I've seen a lot of good things about it.